Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and we got a special guest on the channel today. We got the Team Corelli Syncro4. This just came out like a few weeks ago. Thanks to Team Corelli for sending this out, and we're going to be taking a look at this as well as doing a first run of this little 1/8 scale electric four-wheel drive buggy. And I'd say it's more of a basher buggy, but it definitely is more comparable to, I think, the other RTR 8 scale race buggies out there that you can buy. So a lot of people are going to compare this to like a Typhon 3S. To me, it really much more compared to like a Kyosho Inferno Neo or a Losi 8E or something like that, HPI Vorza, something like that, because it is a 1/8 scale, aluminum chassis, full steel drivetrain. It is 4S capable. It's got the plastic shocks with the aluminum cap, so much more of a full-on 8 scale buggy to me than like a plastic Typhon 3S. So taking off the body, this is what it looks like. This is kind of, based around some of the other buggies that came from Team Corelli previously, like the Spark 6S, like the Radix 4 and 6, and the Python 6S. Here's the radio it comes with, this CT2S. I have not seen this radio before, so much more of a basic radio than some of the previous Team Corelli radios. It does have a little battery tray here on the bottom. Don't know how to open that, but there you go, 4 double A's. It does have steering trim and steering dual rate, so kind of the basics you need for steering, and then it does have a two-way switch for power modulation if you want 100% power or 50% power to slow it down, and then actually a function button so you can actually do some channel reversing on your throttle or your servo, which is kind of the basics you really need on any RTR radio. Foam wheel, trigger is fairly short throw, but good for smaller hands. If you had a huge hand, maybe be a little bit cramped, but this is a basic radio. Works totally fine for this, which is more of a budget vehicle. So we didn't talk about the price yet. This sells for $369 here in the US. That is amazingly cheap, because that is cheaper than a lot of 3S 10 scale stuff. So something like a Stampede 4x4 VXL is like $429, I think. Most other vehicles that are force capable with an aluminum chassis with a full steel drivetrain is going to be much more in the like $500 range. But this is amazing how they were able to get this price down so low. So I would say this is probably like the best deal you can get in RC right now. $370 for a full-on 8 scale 4S vehicle is really, really cheap. So taking a look at it, the tires fairly stiff compound. They are kind of Badlands style. Something to note is that they are directional, so definitely make sure you have them all pointing the same way. 17mm wheel nuts. They are not serrated, but something you may notice is that the wheels are serrated. So rather than serrating the wheel nuts themselves, the wheels are serrated, so they should hold on fine. I think for other 6S vehicles, maybe you want serrated wheel nuts, but for this, I think it worked totally fine on 4S power. Arms and stuff look pretty much the same as previous 6S or 8 scale buggy offerings from Team Corelli. Composite links all the way around, which will add more durability. On the front end, your typical pivot ball suspension. They don't have the aluminum ring caps on the ends, but that is something you might find on the 6S vehicle. The hybrid shocks, they are composite with aluminum caps, which will help the caps stay on quite a bit better. That tends to be a weakness on composite shocks, so nice to see they have that with the bleeder screws, but they are full-on 16mm bore and plastic adjuster as well, so no preload clips. Pretty nice. You do have adjustable caster here in the front, pretty minimal kick up, I'd say somewhere in that 10 to 15 degree kick up, but adjustable caster as well. You also have adjustable camber as well with little clips here, so you can adjust the camber on the front end. Front end looks really nice. Plastic chassis braces down the center. It looks pretty stout. I think you can buy an optional brace that goes down the middle. It looks like you can kind of clip into the center diff housing there. Three differentials, front, middle, and rear, so obviously very tunable. Something other interesting is that it does have dongle buttons down the center, and a lot of people probably might not realize this, but it is centrally mounted here on the center differential, so the power distribution front and rear is going to be 50-50. Some other vehicles might have a shorter drive shaft in the front and a longer, straighter angle in the rear, but this is going to be very balanced front to rear. The 7225 servo that they have on all the Team Corelli vehicles looks really fine. 25 tooth aluminum servo horn, really nice. Fixed plastic drag link. The antenna on the receiver is sticking out, and they do provide an antenna tube, but I tend to just throw it into the receiver box. Never had any issues with that. This is something I will do. Power system wise, you do have the Curon 725 system with their Toro X. I think it's the 120 ESC, so, or 135 ESC, excuse me. So totally adequate power on 4S out of the box. I think it's 40 miles per hour. There are optional gearing, you know, if you wanted to go up and go a little bit faster. So there's, I think, a 13 tooth pinion out of the box, but you can add a 15 and 17 tooth. And I think there are fixed positions here on the motor mount, which is nice. Aluminum motor mount will hold it in place. There are aluminum hinge pin braces front and rear, so no differences there. 4 screws holding in each diff case, pretty typical for you know, these 4S vehicles. I did notice there's little body clips here on the front, so that should help the body stay in place a little bit better. Battery tray is standard Team Crowley size, so it'll fit a standard 4S pack perfectly. I got my Gen Z Redline 2.0, very powerful pack, so super excited to take this thing out. And there's a removable little back plate here if you want to run a little bit longer battery. I do like the little on-off button mount. That is spectacular, honestly, because normally these things are, you know, zip tied or double-sided taped to the chassis or something like that. This holds it in place a lot better. It still allows you to remove it if you need to. Now, interesting thing about this, it does have the hybrid shock tower, so I believe the diff cases are the same, and there are provisions for anti-roll bars here in the front, but the shock towers have a single position up top. They are composite, as well as an aluminum piece here for the camber links, which is important. So both on the front and the rear, you do have the aluminum piece for additional durability here for the links, but then the top half is composite and replaceable if you happen to break that somehow. Wing, they say, I think, is a little bit different. So it does seem to have a good amount of flex, which is nice. It does have these nice little wing mount here on top with the reinforced aluminum like washers here on the screws to help prevent that from pulling through. So you'll see that kind of throughout the vehicle here on the side guards as well. So that just kind of keeps it in place a little better and prevents the screws from pulling through the plastic. There are, looks like, spacers here as well on the rear arms. So I think you can actually adjust the wheelbase by a little bit as well. So there are some nice tuning adjustments, definitely adjustable droop screws, different shock mounting locations on the bottom, adjustable shocks as well. So yeah, pretty nice array of adjustments. You do have an adjustable servo saver as well. So yeah, this thing looks pretty amazing for $370. I don't think you can buy a better car for that amount of money. So super excited to take this thing out and see how it drives. So yeah, let's get out there and drive it. All right, got a Gen Z Redline 2.0 in the Syncro4. We've got the punch set to maximum, did recalibrate the ESC and set the dual rate. I do that on every RC car, whether it is a kit or an RTR like this. And yeah, we're gonna try this thing out. Quick, wow. Punch maximum for sure. Quick. I don't know. I haven't driven an RC car in a while, maybe a couple of weeks, so over a week. So man, fun. Drives well. Traction is pretty decent. It's almost like too fast for this location, actually. But I thought it'd be good to get a little bit more of a little altitude driving here. All right, let's try some different jumps.
Ooh. Okay, first hard hit. This does have more of a racing style bumper. It's not for lightweight or, I don't know, to look cool or anything like that. Actually, these small bumpers are so that you can land the buggy a little nose down and just kind of, you know, like that, and not smack the bumper into the ground, and you can actually just power out of it. On the front tires, brake wise, I didn't change anything. Feels quite good. 75% I think is the default stock setting. Oh no correction there. But no breakages. Nice. I think that means we gotta go a little bigger, right? Small little half throttle. Oops, alright, let's focus a little bit. I only got 4 hours of sleep, so might be a little off today. My excuse anyways. Wow, fun little buggy though. I do like buggies. There's kind of this misconception that I guess I'm more of a basher, but my favorite type of RC car is actually four-wheel drive buggies. 10 scale, 8 scale, something like the Asuga is an amazing basher, even though it's a buggy. Big fan of that. So they just handle so much better. Fly through the air better, more steering. More precision control. Very big fan. Okay, backflips. Little speed missile. Handles very neutrally. Fun. Fun, fun. You know, it doesn't feel slow at all. I was thinking 4S. Maybe it's the battery, but these Genzai Redline batteries are no joke. And this is the brand new 2.0, so I mean, it's a race pack, right? This buggy is based on a race platform, and I've got a race battery in there, and it's pretty quick, even on the first cycle. So back in the day, lipos needed to be broken in before they actually produce pretty good power. Nowadays batteries are a lot better. Don't require as much braking. Fun little guy. Let's take a look at this. Brakes are good. No breakages or anything. Looks pretty solid. Man, fun. Got a bit of wind going today. Cleared it with ease. flying through the air. Sure, someone's gonna tell me this thing's not meant for that. Why are you jumping it? I don't know, because I can, I guess. That is the thing about YouTube. No matter what you do, someone's gonna complain that you're not driving right. You shouldn't do that. It's not made for that. And honestly, it's RC. I feel like you can do whatever you want. And you just use what you've got around you. Some people that means a ramp, which is fine. Some people that means speed runs, which is fine. Some people means that snow, which is fine, you know. Everyone's got different things that they can use at their disposal. I'm lucky to have this amazing little BMX park. So I'm just gonna use it. Well, I think the battery's getting a little low. Well, there you have it. First run of the Team Crowley Syncro4. Fun little buggy, especially for the price. I don't think there's anything better now having driven it. I mean, 4S, 8 scale, full on, all metal drivetrain, aluminum chassis. Pretty quick in my opinion. I think part of it's the battery, but yeah, this thing's actually totally fine power wise. Traction is good, quality components. So what can you say? 370 bucks. This is a steal in my opinion, and I would say probably the best value in RC right now. And yeah, tons of fun. Drove well in terms of adjustments. I might lighten the center diff, seemed a little heavy to me. Shocks and stuff felt good for bashing for sure. Tires work fine as a bashing tire. It's not a race tire, but it's not meant to be a race tire. It works good in this type of environment. Shocks felt great. Yeah, overall drove well. You know, this radio, maybe I would swap it out to a higher end radio. I've got like 30 radios, but it works fine for out of the box. Set your punch to max, leave the brakes alone. Everything else was great. So yeah, first fun run of the Syncro4 from Team Crowley. I'll have links in the description below where you can find more information about this. But yeah, there'll be more videos on this soon. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.